Landowners of Kentucky, I present to you today the moral undoings and violations of the Bluegrass Pipeline. This pipeline will exploit landowners in its path. This pipeline will present the potential for millions of dollars in property damages. This pipeline is overall a terrible choice for Kentucky. We do not want this corporate beast to turn the bluegrass brown. The parent company responsible for planning this line, Williams Co., has already planned out easements to permanently operate a parcel of land. These easements are practically deeds to land without legitimately giving away the landowner. The beautiful trickery of an easement is that each one is worded specifically to each landowner. Thus, you have to read it very carefully before you sign anything. Big companies like the Bluegrass Pipeline are made the dominant tenant of the land, pushing you, the former full rights owner, into servient tenant. By doing this, you are still paying property taxes, but cannot use the land. These companies tend the land 26 times a year. That means that company trucks will drive out to your land more than twice a month, snooping around while checking the pipes. As Kentuckians, we have rights to privacy as well as our own property. But when you sign an easement, depending on how it's worded, you will give those rights away. On their website, Bluegrass Pipeline says that most of the pipeline in Kentucky will use existing pipelines. But by doing so, a newer influx of natural gas will be sent on these old leaky pipelines, increasing the chance of leakage or an explosion. In fact, earlier this year, an accident in Adair County, Kentucky, destroyed 2 homes, forcing on evacuations of hundreds. If these lines are as old as the ones to be reused, then this explosion, thankfully not killing anyone, could be copied a dozen times over throughout the state. The total cost of property damage, as reported from hazardous spills due to pipelines and transportation in the United States, reached $6,215,622,083 in 2013. This would be a terrible thing to reinforce in our state. The landscape of Kentucky will also pose a threat to development of the pipeline. In an evaluation by Ralph O. Ewers, Ph.D., the karst topography of Kentucky has been deemed a threat to both humans and the environment. The land is subject to rapid change, and the thousands of sinkholes all around the state, including the area of the proposed pipeline, can lead to a major destruction of property, and will even endanger the lives of Kentuckians. Just recently, a sinkhole under the National Corvette Museum in Bowling Green, Kentucky, opened up and wreaked havoc on the antique cars inside. If sinkholes can cause damage to such large structures, imagine what they will do to thin pipelines. Now, if the existing pipelines that the Bluegrass Pipeline will use have not spilled, then what is the problem? The problem is these pipelines have been grinding down the bedding planes which they have been situated on. This is due to adjoining dikes gradually taking away soil and bedding, forcing the pipeline and the soil above it to rest on a single pinnacle in the rock, forcing a pressure which is often too great. This will lead to corrosion and leakage. Ultimately, the pipeline is a bad choice for Kentucky. It will make the potential of grand property damages and threat to human life. With it, it exploits the landowning men and women of Kentucky. Don't let it turn the bluegrass brown.